For a lot of us, it was a situation of that we were living in such affluence at the time and, such a wonderful economic time that it never occurred to us that the show might come to an end.
Gotcha.
And so I would say more out of ignorance, meaning having lack of the facts and information, being uneducated, not taking the time to make sure of what was going on and to ask our government to be more accountable in getting us the information.
Yeah.
We kind of likely went along, I believe. Secondly, in your comments about the health insurance and the health reform,
Yep.
I'm just amazed how many people this last week I received actually a letter from our state senator saying that yesterday actually that he was ashamed of this new bill that had been passed. He's Republican.
What state are you in?
I'm in Wyoming.
Okay.
And so we have a lot of issues with rural health care and that type of thing.
Yeah.
That I just was appalled that he would send that out to everybody who he had an email address for without any information, backing why he was ashamed or whatever. So, of course, I had to respond. But my point on it is that we have 100% medical coverage. We've had that through my husband's employment, and he is union, as one of the previous callers said. We've had that for the full time of raising our children since 1979. They're healthier, they're more well-educated, all those things, because we had those benefits, and it helped us, provide a better life for them.
Yeah.
But we also know that what we have and what we've had such a privilege to have, that's selfish if we don't feel anyone else has the right to that. And it's one of the biggest things that has been an issue for me in talking to folks who oppose the health bill is, how dare you? How could you say that someone else doesn't deserve as well as what you're receiving? Just because you pay your bills, maybe they don't have the opportunity to pay them.
Charlotte, you know what? This is what you just said. It's amazing that you just said that. And this is the thing that I love about this whole experience, about the Derrick Ashong experience and the conversations that we have and the people that you participate in. Because I'm getting a comment from Zainab Mustafa. You just said that people are not, how can they be receiving benefits and then being upset that other people are potentially going to receive benefits. Now I'm getting a call from a note from Zainab, who from the looks of her photo appears to be a millennial. And she's saying, I just can't believe people on government disability checks and Medicare are opposing the health care bill and that some members of our young generation are against the healthcare revolution. I don't understand what is so bad about government trying to fix the biggest issue in this country. And you know what, honestly, Charlotte, I'll tell you personally, it's hard for me because I was raised in an environment where we're not really supposed to challenge our elders, You're supposed to respect your elders and you speak to them differently. And I believe in that. I believe that people who have paid their debt to society, not as prisoners, but as citizens who have been living and working and contributing all their lives, deserve our respect. And yet I feel really saddened and disturbed by the degree to which it seems to me the previous generation is litigating and continuing to fight the battles of the past rather than addressing the issues of our present and of our future. Does this seem to be to you what's happening? Because I wasn't there during the 60s and whatnot, but it seems to me like they're still trying to beef about the stuff they were fighting over in the original culture wars.
I believe so, and I believe that a lot of it is that they are desperately seeking to hang on to that illusion that they lived in during that time, and they just are unwilling to open their eyes and even read the facts and listen to both sides and then make an informed decision.
Okay.
If it was about their own health, they would want to have that opportunity, but they're not willing to do that whenever we're talking about some major things that have to change in this country or we're going to go under.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your call, Charlotte. And you guys, we got some more folks coming in. We are talking about the generational divide. Basically, have the baby boomers done what it takes to be good custodians of our world, of our people, our planet, and our country? Have they given the next generation something good to work with? 866-677-2496. Some of you may believe that, hey, They may not have done everything right, but they've given us enough to do what we need to do. Some of you may feel like, hey, why would we even be bringing up a conversation like this? I've got Ellie Koss on Facebook saying, this is a gross generalization that will only further divide people rather than bring them together to actually solve challenges. Why do you focus on the baby boomers? Wasn't there a me generation after the boomers? It was the baby boomers who stopped Vietnam. It was baby boomers who marched in civil rights marches. Again, these fabricated distinctions are not useful. Ellie, this is a powerful point, right? They marched in Vietnam. They stopped they marched in the civil rights movement. They stopped the Vietnam War. The baby boomers also invented the World Wide Web. They have created some of the most amazing technology companies on the planet, and they've accumulated more wealth than any generation in the history of the world. And they've done a lot of philanthropy with it. I think it's a great point, Ellie, and I feel you in the sense that should we really be bringing up these divisive issues? Should we be bringing it up in this context? Could we be hurting people or maybe making it worse? But I got to tell you, Ellie, I think there's a real issue here. Because even though the baby boomers have done a lot, and I talk about the baby boomers because they are the ones in power. They are the ones who are going to be the primary beneficiaries of the current social programs that we've got, and they are the ones who are the primary people who have been the beneficiaries of our lack of willingness to pay for those programs. Right? I bring it up because Tom Brokaw had this program a few weeks ago about the baby boomers and how they are now coming to retirement age. Pretty soon, we're all going to be having to contribute towards their retirement costs. And I want to know if they have done the best that they could in order to put us in a position to help them the way that I believe we should. I think that if you worked your whole life and you now get to the point of retirement, that we should be contributing towards you having a healthy and a comfortable older age because you went and worked so hard during your early days. But I don't know if you have given us the tools to do it. Sean, you are on the air. I want to hear from you. Folks, you can call 866-677-2496. What do you think about this issue of the generational divide? Sean, you are live.
I think this generational divide is pretty serious because the baby boomers, they can only do so much. My mother was a baby boomer, and she passed on a cake business to me, and it's very difficult out there. I mean, you got some baby boomers in different positions. Politics, they're not doing what they're supposed to do, but you have others that are. You have a lot of these people that are not in a wealthy position. It's just like wealth. If you're in a position of wealth, then you can leave wealth behind to your children. But if you're not in a position of wealth, then you can't do that. So all baby boomers, they can only do what they can do.
They can only do what they can do. This is a good point. If they're in a position of wealth, they can leave something to their next generation. But if not, what can they leave? And you know, go ahead.
They can leave but if they can't leave wealth, they can leave knowledge.
They can leave knowledge.
Exactly.
Okay, and what do you think about what's going on in the political climate today? Do you think that this is just a natural response to the healthcare legislation, what's happening, or do you believe that this is the product of existing arguments that have now been extrapolated to healthcare?
At this point, it's more of a product of greed.
A product of greed. Okay, and why do you say that, Sean?
I mean, look at the people. I mean, the first thing something happens. We still got Katrina. Perfect example. We still got Katrina. But soon as Haiti hit, everybody want to run over and deal with Haiti. They haven't even dealt with the problems in their own backyard.
Okay.
That's like, if you're my son, I'm not gonna neglect you because I just adopted a little boy.
Oh, this is a very interesting point. So. All right. Well, so basically you're saying, Sean, are you saying that they shouldn't be helping the people of Haiti, or are you saying that when they do, they're forgetting the people back home?
That's right. I'm not saying forget the people of Haiti because we're all one people.
Yes, I agree.
We all bleed red.
Yeah.
So help everybody you can, but don't run up and go jump up. Like I said, if you're my son, Derrick, I'm not going to put up and go adopt somebody and say, hey, Derrick, you hold on right here, man. I'm going to go buy this dude right here some Laker shoes while you don't have that.
I see what you're saying. All right.
You know what I'm not going to forget about you like that. We're going to roll together. I'm going to say, hey, Derrick, it's me and you. Let's go help out some other people and keep it pushing.
Got you. I appreciate that, Sean. Basically, what I understand that my man is saying is that we need to be working together towards solutions. Not like, oh, I'm going to do this for these people, but I'm going to leave you hanging. It's a big deal, you guys. We're talking about the generational divide. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to tell you why the generational divide is actually at the heart of the healthcare issue. This is not new. This is old beef being revisited. We'll be right back. You listen to the Derrick Ashong Experience. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Oprah Radio.
The Derrick Ashong Experience is your chance to be a part of the conversation. Call us now at 866-OPRA-XM, 866-677-2496.
Hey, y'all, this is DNA. You are listening to the Derrick Ashong Experience. For those that don't know me yet, my name is Derrick Ashong, but my full name is Derrick Nana Kwesi Abaka Ashong. So my real initials are DNKAA. I go by DNA because Dinka does not sound cool, okay? I don't do Dinka. I don't do Dinka. But that's not just I made up a name. I was like, oh, I'm so fundamental, so I'm going to call myself DNA. Those are my actual initials, Derrick and Ashong. You're listening to the Derrick Ashong Experience, and this is DNA. And we're talking about the issue of how the generations are working together or not, and whether or not the baby boom generation has done the job that they should in handing over to the next generation a world that we can really live in and sustain. And I think that there's a lot of problems here. I think that the existing leadership in our society, who are of typically the baby boom generation, predominantly the baby boom generation, have been too selfish when it comes to being willing to make sacrifices for the greater good. Now, this is not a broad indictment. This is not to say that they've not done anything good. They've done a lot of amazing things. They have changed the world for the better. But the fact of the matter is, you can't go out and run a 100-meter dash and blow up the spot on the first 75 meters just like raw and then stroll the last 25. It's not good enough. And what I'm saying is that it's not that the previous generation has not contributed well to the advancement of society. It's that there's more that needs to be done, and they're not doing it. And what that means is that our generation coming up, Gen X, Gen Y, whoever you might be, need to be prepared to start exercising leadership at a younger age than might have historically been normal. I've got @McCall_Smith on Twitter, @McCall_Smith. He says the now generation always believes the older one failed because values change over time. The older generation is also always reluctant to relinquish power. It's the responsibility of the younger generation to seize it. Mikhail, I couldn't agree with you more. He's a member of Gen Y, generation, the millennials. And I think you're right. It's time that we begin to seize power, but with power comes responsibility. If we really want to exercise power, we've got to be willing to take the same kind of criticism we're dishing out to the older folks. I want to hear a little bit of what we're talking about when we say the difference between the way these generations look at things. First of all, I know we've heard it before, but please play for me clip 9 one more time. This is House Minority Leader, the leader of the Republicans in the House, John Boehner, talking about the health care bill. Clip 9.
We have failed to listen to America, and we have failed to reflect the will of our constituents. And look at how this bill was written. Can you say it was done openly? With transparency and accountability? Without backroom deals and struck behind closed doors? Hidden from the people? Hell no, you can't!
Hell no, you can't. I'm going to just start saying that, yo. Every time people say, so I'll be driving down the road, and they'll be like, hey, man, hey, yo, can I cut in? Can I cut in? I'll be like, hell no, you can't. John Boehner, he's bringing it, all right? That's one side of the equation, right? Let's flip the script just a little bit. I want to get the clip number 26. This is the mashup of the song that will.i.am did, member of Gen X, along with Jesse Dillon, also a member of Gen X, about Yes We Can. Clip number 26, please.
Yes, we can repair this world.
Hell no, you can't!
Yes, we can.
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 No, you can't!
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yes, we can, right? And to me, that says it all right there. Now, I know some may think it's unfair to create that kind of a juxtaposition. John Boehner does not represent the totality of his generation. And neither do these wonderful and promising ideas like Yes We Can represent the entirety of ours. President Obama is a baby boomer. He's kind of that boomer Gen X line right there. But the fact of the matter is, this is what I want you guys to see or consider when we're having this conversation. There is a crucial divide in the way people are looking at what needs to happen to improve upon our world and our society. John Boehner is going to get up there and tell us it's Armageddon and screaming out, oh, hell no. But we as a generation want to believe that, oh, hell, yes. Yes, we can. Heavens to Betsy, we can make a difference. We can do something in this world. We can try something new. I don't want to just hear all the fear and the drama. Look at what's happened this week. You get a piece of legislation passed, and people are running around calling each other names. Look, let's hear what my man Neugebauer said. This is the congressman who called Bart Stupak a baby killer. And this is what he had to say. Clip number 18, please.
Would you call that comment last night proper decorum on the House floor?
It probably wasn't, but you know what? It was, in many ways, it was the truth, and sometimes the truth isn't always easy to hear.
Congressman Neugebauer, you're telling me that sometimes the truth isn't always easy to hear. Can you tell your constituents the truth that they are going to need to pay more taxes in order to cover the expenses of supporting Social Security and Medicare over the future? I want to hear from you, Representative Neugebauer. You're a truth teller. Will you tell them that ugly truth, that hard truth, that a good life doesn't come for free? Will you tell your people that? I don't think so. But you call a man a baby killer. That's what he said. He called the man a baby killer. Americans, my friends and my family, my listeners across the globe, do you believe that anyone in the Congress today wants to kill babies? And I would say no. I don't believe it. I don't buy it for a second. But what I believe is happening is that the old school beef, the same issues they had before, are the issues they're fighting today. The war on drugs, the confidence, should we be having drugs, should we not? The whole thing about abortion, are you killing babies? Do you support a woman's right? It's why I hear the president of the National Organization of Women on Bill Moyers yesterday talking about the bill is bad because of abortion issues. Then here come these guys, Neugebauer and co, the bill is bad because of abortion issues. Could we ever move beyond abortion? Could we ever get to the point where we realize that nobody wants to kill babies? All of us want to see a woman have a right to a good life and good health care, and we know statistically that better education solves the problem. So why not do that? We're going to come back after the break, and we're going to be talking about solutions, the people who are working to change the world, not just beefing about it. This is the Derrick Ashong Experience, and we are moving fast into a better future. We'll be right back.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter.
listening to Oprah Radio.
Pepsi is funding good ideas that move the world forward through the Pepsi Refresh Project.
He's not just the voice of a new generation. He's the voice for all generations.
The Derrick Ashong Experience on Oprah Radio.
Righteousness, folks, you are back on the Derrick Ashong Experience. The hashtag for this conversation on Twitter is the DNAX. That's hash, the #, the DNAX. And what that means is whenever you tweet to us and you want us to hear what you have said or talk about what we're doing or be a part of this broader conversation, if you put hash, the DNAX, we will see it and maybe we'll shout you out. We've just been having an amazing conversation about healthcare. We've also been having a conversation about the generational divide, and we've been talking about how some of the problems facing us today seem to be rehashing and revisitation of old school beef. I'm talking about 30-year-old beef. Who wants to eat 30-year-old beef, right? Who thinks that 30-year-old beef is good for you? Do you think that you can eat 30-year-old beef? Hell no, you can't. Just ask John Boehner. He knows. Well, we don't want to eat 30-year-old beef. We want to keep it fresh, and we would like to refresh our society. We want to talk about positive change in the way which we can be a part of making this world a better place. Regular people like you and I changing the world for the better. Well, we are so blessed to be a part and sponsored by the Pepsi Refresh program. And Pepsi Refresh has basically decided that they are going to look out at the world around us, see who has got good ideas for making that world a better place, and try and support those ideas with both logistical support and partnering people up with great other folks. And you guys heard, if you listen to us at South by Southwest, you heard us talking with folks who had a great, brilliant idea and folks who were digitally savvy, helping them to make it manifest. Well, now we've got some amazing winners that have been doing some incredible stuff. And the first person we're going to bring to you is Rick Delaschmidt from Belleville, Illinois, who won a Pepsi Refresh grant for $25,000 for the Taste Buds project at the Belleville Farmers Market. Rick, welcome to the Derrick Ashong Experience.
Hey, Derrick, thanks for having me on. Pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you here. Now, Rick, could you tell us what exactly the Taste Buds project is?
Well, Taste Buds is two facets. To the kids, it's a game show. It's a challenge. It's a fear factor, if you will, with a fresh spin on it, where we're taking 10 different fruits and vegetables into the classroom, ages K through 6, and we're having kids try fresh fruits and vegetables that, in many cases, in fact, most cases we found over the last couple of weeks, kids have never even tried before, in some cases never even seen before. Now, from a grown-up's perspective, what we're doing is we're getting kids to understand that trying something new, especially when we're talking about fresh fruits and vegetables, that's so essential in their diet. 9 out of 10 kids in our country in school age are not eating enough fresh fruits and vegetables. So from the grown-up's perspective, what we're doing is we're putting a fresh spin on trying to educate kids and inform them how important it is to eat healthy foods.
Got you. So basically, you're doing this in a way that makes it fun for the kids to feel like, you know, healthy food is a good thing, but you're giving the parents a way of educating and bringing the kids into a dialogue about what healthy food is.
Exactly right. Because what we're trying to battle, Derrick, is that child who maybe the only time they see or are exposed to fresh, healthy foods is on that lunch plate at school, and sadly, that's all too commonly the case. So, my main goal, my main objective is twofold. One, I want those kids, rather than just turning their nose up to those green beans or those peaches or those pineapple that are on their lunch tray and throwing those in the trash, to understand that, hey, you know what, I've never tried that before, but I learned when Taste Buds came to my class, when I tried those sugar snap peas or I tried those green peppers, that, you know what, it didn't kill me to try it. Maybe I liked it, maybe I didn't, but it didn't hurt me.
It wasn't Armageddon.
So I want them to take that step and try it.
Absolutely. It wasn't Armageddon when you ate that healthy food, and so this is a way of getting those kids to expand their minds and their opportunities. Now, talk to me.
Exactly.
This is a really wonderful idea, Rick, and I love the fact that, you know, you're basically giving kids something to do that feels good for them, but that is also good for them. And I'm wondering, like, what inspired you to do this project and to, you know, to try this innovative and interactive way of doing it.
Right. Well, the roots of the concept actually came from my 5-year-old son at the time, believe it or not, who we always involved our kids. We always talked about work and Daddy's work at the dinner table, and we always listened to, they would always get a big kick out of chiming in and giving us ideas, and we always hung on their every word like we were dining with, Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, of course.
That's awesome.
And I think I was telling my 5-year-old that we were going to bring some pumpkins to his school in the fall, and he just, came up with, out of the blue, just that we should take Daddy's truck to his school and let kids get on the truck and try some fresh fruits and vegetables that they don't eat normally. And at the time, it really didn't sink in, honestly, all that deep to me. It didn't resonate with me at the time, but flash forward a couple years, we were in a bad car accident. Reese suffered a brain injury that he works hard to recover from every day to this day. And I heard that Pepsi was doing this program where they were looking for ideas to refresh the community, and it just hit me. I was like, this is perfect. I had just recently read a study about how many of our kids are not eating enough fresh foods, and I thought, this is perfect. We can do Reese's idea. We can take this experience, this tactile, first-hand food experience, right into the classrooms for the kids, and that's how it all started.
That is brilliant. So your 5-year-old son kind of inspired you to do this.
No doubt about it.
You know what I love about
that? You were talking about the new generation, who's refreshing ideas. I mean, if there was ever an idea that was thought of by the next generation, this is it.
Well, but Rick, this is huge, and it's important because you are a generation that is listening to that next generation. I mean, you're attuned to the ideas of your little boy, and once you saw the possibility, you took his idea, something that he couldn't realize on his own because he's a child, but you as the adult saw that ingenuity and you made it happen, not only for the benefit of your son, but for all the children in your community. And that's something that I really respect. And that's what I mean when we're talking about this generational stuff. We can be like, oh, the so-and-so did this, so-and-so did that. The purpose is not to cause a conflict between the generations, but the purpose is to get people to say, hey, we can do something better for those who can't do for themselves. And that's really powerful. I'm wondering if you could tell us, you just won $25,000 from Pepsi Refresh. What does that enable you to do now?
Well, that's a great question, Derek. What the Pepsi grant does, and we're so thrilled to be a part of it, and Pepsi's been amazing to work with. What that enables us to do, we had great local support. Our local hospital, Memorial Hospital, was helping us out. Our YMCA was helping us out here in Southwest Illinois. But what that grant allows us to do is to expand the footprint of Taste Buds and what we're trying to do in the classrooms. It allows us to expand that footprint past just the immediate Belleville area. So rather than just hitting 8 or 10 or 12 schools here in our immediate area, we can take this program farther out, and we can reach out to more kids, especially kids that are maybe in lower income areas where a food desert phenomenon is the case in a lot of these areas where they don't have access to these healthy foods, sadly. So that makes it even more critical. If the only time they're going to see this stuff is on the lunch plate at school, we've got to make sure these kids understand that they've got to try it. They've got to give it a shot. They've got to understand how important it is in their diet. And if we can just get a handful of them every day, every classroom we visit, to try that stuff, then we're winning. And I had a little girl, a first grader, in fact, Derek, the other day, as I was wrapping up our presentation, I was walking by her desk, and she said, I never knew I liked so many vegetables. And it just gave me goosebumps, because it was like that's exactly what the goal is. That's what we're doing.
That's brilliant, man. I love that. And, it's so funny because you figure it's something so simple, like as eating good food, right? But how that affects your body and your life. And, everyone's talking about the epidemic of childhood obesity and what that happens to us. And we just had, our gentleman, Eric Greenberg, who founded a project called Generation We, come and talk to us about how the millennials are more likely to develop diabetes and all kinds of other ailments than the previous generation. And I think a lot of it has to do with how we eat. And the funny thing is, most of us, we don't even think about it. It's something you grow up with. So, for example, if you grow up in a community that is maybe rural and you don't have like a lot of stores nearby and you grow food, you grow fruits and vegetables maybe you raise some livestock or what have you, you never think about eating organic food, right? Everything you eat is organic. But if you grow up in an urban community and you're going to the local Stop and Shop or Ralph's or wherever it is that you shop at, unless somebody teaches you that, hey, you want to try to get your diet to incorporate these healthy items into it, it doesn't necessarily come naturally. And the problem is, because we as human beings evolved in one way physically, and now we live in another way, we might not be quite as aware of the impact that all of the sugar and all of the, the kind of additives and preservatives and dramatic products, or the lack of fruits and vegetables, et cetera, may be having on our lives. And you guys are basically giving kids a window into that at a young enough age that it can actually become natural to them. Which I think is really powerful. Now, I'm wondering, have you seen any impact on the parents in the work that you've been doing?
Yeah, in fact, well, we've just started a couple weeks ago, but yes, it's already making an impact. So we have the kids go home when they're done with the Taste Buds experience in their classroom. One of their homework assignments, if you will, is to write down on a piece of paper. We have them write down everything they tried today. Okay. So what I want them to do, and I follow that up with an email that I send to their parents after we're done, and I tell the parents, this is exactly what your kid ate today. Believe it or not, your kid ate green peppers today, and your kid ate sugar snap peas. Your child ate celery. You might not believe it, but they ate it. Wow. And then when the child brings that form home that they filled out for homework, also telling them what they tried, then what we do is we send that kid home, and every kid, we reward their bravery in trying new foods with what we call Taste Bud Bucks.
Okay.
So they get free currency to our stores so that mom and dad can understand that they worked hard, they were very brave, they tried foods they don't normally eat, and I want them to bring them into the store. I don't care if they spend a dime with us or not. It says right on the buck. We don't care if you make a purchase. Just bring your kid in and let them get rewarded. Let's reinforce this behavior. So we give them the buck. They can come in and they can pick out free fruit in exchange for their bravery today in the classroom. So what we're doing is we're getting the parents into the stores. We're getting the parents to understand that their kid might have tried something new today that they found out they love. And at the end of the program, I ask all the kids, let me see your hand if you tried something new today, and every hand in the classroom goes up. And then I'll ask them, let me see your hand if you tried something new today and you thought it was disgusting and you wanted to spit it out in your desk. And there will be, maybe half, and that's okay. And I explain to the kids, it's all right that you didn't like it. You're not going to like every. The important thing is you tried it. But the final question we ask them is, let me see your hand if you tried something today and you found out you loved something new that you've never had. And virtually every hand in the classroom goes up.
That's off the hook.
That's what we're going for.
And, it's so, I love that, the idea that the kids are getting a chance to discover something. But, when you started talking about Taste Buds Bucks, that resonated with me because, this is Derrick Ashong Experience. This is a show where everybody likes money. And, if you got Taste Buds Bucks, I personally would be willing to, try some celery or some my mom is not going to believe this, but, I would eat some Brussels sprouts if I could get some Taste Bud Bucks that I could redeem at the store for some, yummier elements, So I'm wondering how y'all can bring this out to Southern California. Like, this sounds like it should be nationwide.
We want it nationwide, and I hope that the exposure that Pepsi brings, I hope this program is used as a blueprint nationwide because what we're doing here in Southern Illinois should be, it should be picked up and duplicated across the country.
And it should be. And, not to go back to politics, but, this is – so we have – sometimes people have these conversations about real America, blah, blah, blah. Who's real American? What's American? What you're talking about is real America. The fundamental thing that has made this nation so great over history is the ability to innovate. And the way that people have come up with new and amazing ideas that have influenced our technology, our lifestyles, the marketplace, the nature of business in our economy. And this is just such a cool way of getting young people to have fun eating healthy. And I think that, I know your family is proud of you and your community, but we, speaking for the listeners of this program, and if they disagree, somebody will call me and be like, Derrick, you're an idiot. I know, it's all good. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say, for all of us, that we really appreciate the work that you're doing, and it's really admirable. And I want everybody to go and check this out. We've put it out on Twitter. We're going to stick it up on Facebook. You can find the project at www.refresheverything.com. That's refresheverything.com/tastebuds. refresheverything.com/tastebuds. Check out Rick's project. Get your kids to learn about it. Maybe you could have a new kind of conversation with them about vegetables. Maybe if you're in Southern Illinois, they can get some Taste Buds bucks. Rick, we want to thank you for coming on the show. When we come back, we're going to talk to some more people who have won Pepsi Refresh grants. Pepsi is refreshing our world. They are funding innovators who are trying to make this world a better place, and we are supporting that. This is the Derrick Ashong Experience. We'll be back.
Just like new to relax my mind so I can be.
Move the world forward through the Pepsi Refresh Project at refresheverything.com.
This is the Derrick Ashong Experience on Oprah Radio.
Stay connected.
Twitter.com/Ashong.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yo, no doubts. We're going to keep on dancing because we are feeling hella good. This is the Derrick Ashong Experience. You're listening to DNA. We are on the MIC talking about all kind of things that people are doing to make our world a better place for you and me. And right now, we've got an amazing young man, another Pepsi Refresh winner. And for those who are just joining us, Pepsi has started this refresh project. And their goal is to refresh everything, like everything. As some of us would love to say, refresh a thing. But it's hard to put a thing in, you know, your URL in your browser window. So they just spelled it out, everything. And you can check them out at Pepsi. Well, actually, you don't have to say Pepsi. Just refresheverything.com. That's refresheverything.com. You could see what this competition was all about and who some of the winners have been. And basically, this is what we mean when we talk about corporate social responsibility. The company is investing in those who are investing in our communities. Today, coming straight to you from Highland Park, we have got a young man. And by young, I mean 14. A young man, 14 years old, who loves science and who, along with his sister and some of her smart friends, as he puts it, are trying to redesign and sort of like revolutionize the design of school buses. So, Johnny Cohen from Highland Park, Illinois, thank you for joining us and welcome to the Derrick Ashong Experience.
I want to thank you, Derrick, so much for having me on the show.
Yo, it is all good, man. I want to thank you so much for doing this wicked cool project. And I have read your bio, so I know a little bit about what you're doing. But could you explain to our dear listeners what exactly you have decided to do in order to revolutionize these? Actually, let's start it a little differently. First of all, what do you think is the problem with the current design of school buses? And then what are you doing to change it?
Oh, well, basically, I found out that the current gas mileage of most school buses is 4 to 6 miles per gallon, and I thought
4 to 6 miles per gallon?
Yeah.
Wow, that's like LA type mileage. This is like Hummer Central over here. That's crazy. Okay, so that is pretty terrible.
So I saw basically the big boxy windshield, and so I decided to invent green shields and fix that problem.
Okay, and what exactly are green shields?
Well, green shields, what it is, it goes from the top of the windshield to the front of the hood.
Okay.
And it redirects the airflow around the bus.
So you've basically created a technology, a device that makes school buses more aerodynamic.
Yep, that's right on the money.
I love it. And have you been able to install these on some buses thus far?
Well, not yet. Right now, we're in the CAD drawing phase, computer-aided drawing.
Yes.
And we are going to run some virtual wind simulations to get accurate numbers. And then after that, we are going to test it on a closed track situations and get some real gas mileage saving numbers.
Okay, so basically, right now you're using AutoCAD. You're designing the actual device, and then you're going to start installing and testing them. Now, Johnny, this is like the one of the coolest things I've heard about recently, and the reason I think it's so hot is because basically you looked right where you are at something that you're familiar with. I'm assuming, do you ride in a school bus to school?
No, I walk to school.
Oh.
But I see them driving to school every day.
Okay, so your money is all up in your mouth right now because basically you are so green that you don't even ride the dirty bus, the 4 to 6 mile per hour or 4 to 6 gallon per, I don't even know what to say, miles per gallon bus. You walk to school, but you see these inefficient buses going by you every day, and you came up with an idea of how to fix them. Did you, like who was the first person you told when this occurred to you?
Well, basically I told my mom, and she thought it was a great idea. After I took a Center for Talent Development for gifted students in Northwestern, and that's basically, I took a class and we built mini car models, and so I came up with the idea. So I told my mom, and then my mom told the science director of Highland Park High School, and she told me a contest to enter the Youth Venture contest, the Lorax, and I happened to win that grant. And
Congratulations.
Then, yeah, that was $1,000. It was a seed grant.
Okay.
And later we won we recently won the Pepsi Refresh grant.
That's amazing. I mean, Johnny, this is like the coolest thing. So you told your mom, and she basically helped you through your science program and through the Youth Venture, the Lorax competition, and now Pepsi Refresh to raise the money to start putting this idea into action. When you first started talking to, like, your friends about this, I mean, even when you told your mom, like, did people get it immediately? Did you have to explain? Did some people think it wouldn't work? Or what was the kind of response you got?
Well, most people thought that it was a pretty good idea, but usually I would explain it by showing some Green Shield models.
So you actually built models of it?
Scale models.
Gotcha. Scale models, and then once they saw the model, they realized that, oh, wait, I get how this could work.
Yep.
That is so cool, man. I really, really, really love it. And so now that you've won this, the grant from Pepsi in particular, what is your next step? What will that grant money, because $25,000 is a good chunk, so what will that amount enable you to do next?
Well, basically the next thing is we are purchasing pre-made CAD drawings of a school bus, and then we're going to draw basically the Green Shield onto the bus and then virtually test it. And the money's going to go towards buying Green Shields and applying them.
Okay, basically to buying the Green Shields and applying them. Awesome. And you mentioned that your sister and her friends were involved in this as well?
Yeah.
How old are they?
They're all juniors.
They're juniors in high school?
Yep.
Okay, and what year are you?
I'm a freshman.
Okay, so Johnny, you, a freshman, came up with this idea, and you recruited some juniors in high school to help make this out. So this is basically a high school-operated project. You guys conceived and are creating it, kind of, I mean, with the help of some adults, but a lot of you are doing it on your own, it sounds like.
Yeah, we know that we need help because we're just a couple of high schoolers.
Yeah.
And we need to get the help that we need. It's pretty much run by us.
Okay, and so we were having a conversation earlier about the generations. You and your sisters represent what we were talking about, which is Generation We, because you guys are all born in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really awesome to see what you're doing. I'm over here, like, in my mind, bugging out a little bit because I'm thinking, what was I doing when I was 14? I don't even remember. I was trying to beg my dad to let me go to a dance. But you're clearly doing, something amazing with your time and with your energy. And I think that is really wonderful. And I'm inspired, and I know that the people listening are inspired. And I want to thank you so much for coming on and telling us about this. Is there any message, if you could talk to other kids or other people who also have ideas about, wanting to do something, is there any message you would give to them about what motivates you or what inspires you or what might inspire them to go beyond idea to action?
Yeah, well, my biggest message would be kind of dream. You really have to dream about all these ideas, come up with great ideas, but no one else is going to take the initiative unless you do.
No one else is going to take the initiative unless you do. Johnny, I want to thank you for dreaming big, and I want to thank you for sharing your dream with us, and I want to thank Pepsi Refresh for helping to make it a reality. What you're doing is awesome. Big ups and good luck to you and your sister and your friends, and thanks to your mom as well for helping to make this possible. Thanks for joining us, Johnny.
All right, thanks so much for having me on the show.
Cool. Take care. You guys, Johnny Cohen is blowing our mind over here. He said dream, but know that no one else is going to make it happen. You've got to take the initiative. You can learn about what Johnny is doing at www.refresheverything.com/green shields. Green shields. Green shields are Johnny's invention for making school buses more aerodynamic. Y'all, think about how many buses are on the road right now. School buses are in every community in the country, and they get 4 to 6 miles a gallon. I didn't even know that. School buses are less efficient than Hummers. And Johnny, who walks to school, mind you, perceived not only the problem, but a potential solution. He dreamed it, and he's making it happen. We got to give big ups to Johnny and his folks, and big ups to Pepsi Refresh for helping to make this possible. This is what we mean when we say that business should be a part of making the world a better place. It's not that companies should be exempt and we should leave it to, religious institutions and not-for-profits and all the goody-goody, huggy-wuggy people to go do good things in the world. We want to see our corporate titans, the leaders of industry, taking the initiative to help make society better. And I think Pepsi is a perfect example of that. And not only that, but hopefully they're giving people more entrepreneurial opportunity. I mean, I think that Johnny's project could be a great business, and maybe Johnny can grow this into something that will be a launch of his career as an entrepreneur. Maybe it'll be a massive success, and it'll help put his kids through college someday, and maybe other people's children too. Johnny Cohen, we're wishing you the very best. Check him out, www.refresheverything.com/green shields. For those of you who are on Twitter, you can follow me at twitter.com/Ashong. We have just tweeted a link to Johnny's project. He just won $25,000 from Pepsi Refresh, y'all. He's making it happen. Are you dreaming? I hope you're dreaming big, because, Johnny is setting a very high bar for all of us. All right, so we are getting down to the last part of the show. This is not the final segment or section, but we are starting to get to this, closing aspect of it. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight into where I was last week, because I got a lot of folks hitting me up via tweet talking about, Derrick, where are you? I was in Mexico City. Well, the first part was in Mexico City, but technically on Saturday I was in Cancun. No, I did not go there for a spring break. I didn't just decide to leave y'all hanging so I could go and, flirt around and kick it in the sunny, beautiful Caribbean beaches. I saw the beach, but I didn't get to go on it. And the reason why is because we were working. I went down there as part of something called the America's Business Council Fellowship. And basically, the America's Business Council is an entity that was created by a number of leading business figures, right? We were just talking about corporate responsibility and how companies should be involved in making the world better. Well, we've got the leaders of some big, big companies in Latin America, the biggest being Televisa, the founder of Televisa, along with some key partners. Televisa is the biggest television network in Latin America. He and some key partners came together and formed the America's Business Council, and they created a fellowship for 21 young leaders, people under the age of 41, who they saw as having some sort of leadership potential or capacity to come together with a vision of changing the lives of people in this hemisphere across the Americas. Now, I had the good fortune to be selected as one of these young 21 leaders. Yay! And I got picked last year, and we went to Medellin and Bogota, and we studied what was going on in the country. We meet every year in concordance with the IDB. That's the Inter-American Development Bank. It's like the World Bank for our hemisphere. And basically, we go to the IDB meetings. We kick it with all the bankers. I always have to bring my suit. Y'all ain't never seen me in a suit and tie. I look quite good in it, I must admit, but I don't try to rock it on a regular basis because it constricts my throat and I like to shout. But I wore my suit. I went and kicked it with the bankers, with the financiers and all the official characters, and we learned a ton. I mean, we had the chance to meet with